How we going, Supercar fans? Back again doing the final recap and episode for you guys on 2018 for the Virgin Australia Supercars. Today is the Newcastle 500 recap, and it was a really great weekend. At first, on Friday, it was very dusty there after all the dust storms that New South Wales copped, and far south Queensland as well. They got a little bit as well on Saturday, or we did anyway on Saturday. We got a little bit of dust, but it wasn't that much. But yeah, New South Wales copped it pretty much big time, and yeah, it was pretty crazy seeing how windy it was and whatever else on the Thursday as well. Just like seeing all the trucks getting unloaded and whatever else. I obviously didn't go down. I got abused by a couple of friends saying that it's not the same without you here, and yeah, it probably would have been, but you know, the car still raced around and whatever else. So whether or not I was there, it's still going to happen. But yeah, guys, the recap. It was a very good race, good couple of races actually. Even qualifying was awesome. Qualifying and then a race, and then on Sunday, sorry, they had qualifying, shootout, and race. So it was really all good. But it was surprising enough for a street circuit. It was very clean, and well, for most part of it anyway. And yeah, it was actually just really great racing all weekend. So guys, gonna jump straight in to race 30, where pretty much everyone had a clean start. It was very surprising at turn 1. Not that many people were bumpy and grindy, which was first. I'd seen that Holsworth, Whincup, and someone else was going 3 wide into the first corner, and it was like, oh god, you can't do that. But by lap 2, we seen 2 changes. First and third ended up getting a really great start, and second and fourth, which was Shane Van Gisbergan and what's his name? Scott McLaughlin. And they ended up getting really poor starts. So first and third got good starts, second and fourth got poor starts. And by the second lap, Whincup changed position with Shane Van Gisbergan, and Fabs did the same thing. And that put Shane Van Gisbergan in first and Scott McLaughlin in third. By lap 8, Fabian Coulthard pitted to get some clean air. And by lap 18, Whincup pits, and giving McLaughlin second, and Holsworth giving him third. Yes, I said Holsworth, giving him the third place. Lap 22, Whincup takes Reynolds at turn 11. It was a bit bumpy, but it was all good coming out of the hairpin there. It was actually quite clean, quite reasonably clean anyway. Lap 24, Whincup down on the inside of Fabian Coulthard and pushes Whincup into the wall at turn 12. Now, that was one of the big turning points of the weekend, because now one of the Red Bull cars is out of contention to help, I guess, with the championship fight. There was no safety car. It was just like a little slight bump in, and then Jamie reversed out and away he went. Lap 26, McLaughlin pitted, and then lap 27, Shane Van Gisbergan was in the pits, but Shane got out in front of McLaughlin. I think that was like 5 seconds difference, like when they were racing together. There was 5 seconds, and then McLaughlin pits, and then when Shane Van Gisbergan pitted on the next lap, it was only 0.5 of a second behind each other, and it was really crazy. But guys, for lap 42, our first safety car of the race, we had Fabian Coulthard into the wall at turn 1. Percat hit the side of his car pretty much straight after Fabs hit the wall. And from reports, Percat said that his rear spoiler actually scraped his helmet, which was crazy. But he's missing the whole driver's side of the car. Blanchard also hit in, and Fabs was a little weird about that, because he was like, why after so long, you know, he said it sounded like, it felt like he was there for like half an hour, and then for Tim Blanchard to come in and hit, it was just weird. But double stacking as well, obviously the safety car came out, and then obviously a lot of people came in. Double stacking was a big thing as well. Lowndes collected Scott Pye, because Scott Pye stopped dead smack in the fast lane. Well, not actually dead smack in the fast lane, but pulled over, emerged into both the pit lane and the fast lane. And Lanzi had nowhere to go. He pretty much stopped behind him, but someone's hit him, and he's just jumped up and bang straight back down again. It's the first time in 26 years that, well, since I've been alive anyway, that I've actually heard Craig Lowndes be really upset about something, and it was, oh god, it was very crazy. So yeah, and then massive restart on lap 46 from Lee Holsworth, who was leading the race at the time, and he actually had a really good weekend. And after that, it was a very disappointing moment, and quite honest, it was quite bullshit as well. Holsworth got a pit lane penalty because the flag marshals had both green and also yellow flags out on pit straight. Now, I was just reading something on Press and Hire, on their little recap thing that they do. They send out like an email kind of thing, and they said that Holsworth said that he came out of the last corner, there was a green flag, so he automatically went for it. And then halfway down the straight, there was a yellow flag, but it was already too late because he's already taken off. And then all the way down the other end, it was green again. So it was like, what the hell's going on? And he got very confused. Obviously, when he seen the green flag, he just went for it. And I thought, wow, that is the awesome start. But the flag marshals screwed that one up and obviously screwed him out of contention. I was very red hot about it. I was super annoyed. Got out of contention, obviously, and possibly even win the race or even get up in top 3 or whatever in the podium. Or yeah. I was quite upset about it, but yeah, I was quite hot about it as well. I went on to Newcastle flag marshals, the supercar flag marshals thing, and I had a little bit of a say to them. A bit of a say. I think I upset a couple of people, but you know, it's yeah. I was very upset about it and whatever else. So, but we'll move on. No matter. Lap 63. Muslet slid into the wall at turn 1 and ripped off his rear spoiler. And that sucked. That really sucked because Muslet was actually having a good run. And then he obviously pitted, and then on lap 69 he rejoined the race. Lap 80, guys. Cam Waters bumped Will Davison off at turn 2 and got a penalty for it. It was just a matter of time before I mentioned his name and someone else's for bumping. McLaughlin had been told to save fuel, and Shane Van Gisbergan was told to push hard. This was the last lap. When they came in, McLaughlin put less fuel in. Put the same amount of fuel in as Shane Van Gisbergan did. But Shane was saving while he was driving before the end of before the last lap, where McLaughlin was sort of a little bit of pushy and whatever else, and they didn't really consider that part. The last lap, heading into the last lap anyway, the last couple of laps, Van Gisbergen was like 5 or 6 seconds behind Scott McLaughlin. It's so hard to pick these two apart. He was, about 5 seconds behind him, and on the last lap, he was still a fair bit amount behind. I think it was like 3 seconds or something. And Ludo came over the radio and said, you got to conserve fuel, maximum save. And Shane Van Gisbergen, obviously, whilst saving, had fuel in his car, and he was told to push as hard as he possibly could. And he did. And it ended up being one of the greatest last laps I've ever seen in a Supercars race. And as I put down here, it was a great race. With 2 corners to go, Shane Van Gisbergen won ahead of Scott McLaughlin, who ran out of fuel. And I am going to bring up the results right here, guys, for you for race 30. I'm pretty sure it was, yes, race 30. That's qualifying. Hang on a sec, guys. Alright, so Shane Van Gisbergen wins it ahead of Scott McLaughlin. David Reynolds finishes 3rd. Jamie Whincup, Scott Pye, Mark Winterbottom, who had a really good race, finishes in 6th. James Courtney, Andre Heimgardner, Cam Waters, Rick Kelly, Simona Di Silvestro, which is her best result in the supercars yet. Anton De Pasquale, Lee Holsworth fought his way back from last because of that pit lane penalty to 13th. Todd Hazelwood, again, another personal best for race results, finishes in 14th. Michael Caruso, Will Davison, Richie Stanaway, Tim Slade, Jack LeBrock, James Golding, Chaz Mostert, Garth Tander, Craig Lowndes, who finishes in 23rd, Nick Percat, Fabian Coulthard, and Tim Blanchard, obviously, who DNF'd in the race as well. Now, guys, a little bit of a side note. When Shane Van Gisbergan did his pit stop, there was a little bit of drama with it. He came in on such a weird angle, and they put the fuel in. Fuel went in, air jack went in, and the air jack guy dispatched. This is during the safety car too, because they had to put an extra 6 litres or something on because they didn't fill up the car properly during the first stop, so he had to come back in and whatever else. So the guy with the air jack pulled out, and the fuel was still in there, and then he took out as well. Now usually it's supposed to be fuel goes out and then air jack comes out. So Shane Van Gisbergen, for a fuel drama in pit lane, got a 25-second time penalty and was dropped to 5th, giving McLaughlin the race win and having a 56-point lead heading into Sunday. Now, if it was the other way around and it was the results that I just gave you guys, it would have been 2 points Shane Van Gisbergen. And it ended up being reverted back to all that stuff. He got the penalty, got 25-second time penalty, and he was dropped also 56 points of the lead. So that, sadly enough, put him out of contention. Regardless of where McLaughlin finished, Shane Van Gisbergen had to finish in front, which obviously didn't end up happening, which happens. It's racing, I guess. So, oh well for that. But race 31, guys, again, it was another great start. James Golding was in the garage after lap 1. Whincup pits and rejoins. This was lap 17. Whincup pits and rejoins behind Fabian Coulthard, who also was held up by Holsworth. Holsworth was in contention again. He qualified 5th. Whincup spins Coulthard at turn 12. Now, this was funny because I just said before that Coulthard put Jamie into the wall, and now Whincup's putting Coulthard into the wall at turn 12. Obviously, a safety car again. Lap 22, race resumed, and the flag marshals obviously know what green flags meant then. Lap 27, Jack LeBrock spins Richie Stanaway at turn 8, and there was no further action there. Coulthard was back out in the race, and at turn 12 almost runs into the back of Jamie Whincup. So that was actually quite funny, but the replay showed that Whincup went a little bit wide at turn 12, and Fabian kind of got an advantage out of it. Tander locked his front wheel heading into turn 1 and rejoins while trying to avoid Cam Waters and Craig Lowndes. Now that was quite a bit of a scary moment there, and Tander locked up into turn 1, spun around, and then rejoined while Cam Waters and Craig Lowndes were coming at him, and it was really, really, really close because he's just come straight back into the racing line and he almost, got killed. Shane Van Gisbergen does his last pit stop of the year on lap 48, and McLaughlin did his last pit stop on lap 52. Now, bit of controversy again with Holsworth's car. Sadly enough, Team 18 copped a $3,000 fine and 30 team points because of pit stop drama. Holsworth came in for the last pit stop that he was supposed to be doing, fuel and tyres. Preston Hire boys did a really, really good job. They finished early. But on the other side, because they share with Milwaukee Racing, or Team 23 or whatever, because they share the same bunker as them, they sort of share. So half the team, or half the side is Preston Hire, the other half is Milwaukee Racing. And Holsworth's come in, the boys on the passenger side, which is the refueling side, that was all Preston Hire, and on the other side was Milwaukee Racing. Now, the boys at Preston Hire, they finished all their stuff and whatever else, and they held the air jack and whatever else. Anyway, the guys that are Milwaukee Racing had trouble putting his tyres on, and the rear guy put his tyre on, alright, put the one that he was just using, standing up, which is usually they put it down, but he stood it up beside him, and then the front guy ended up having trouble, so he's come, the back tyre guy has come back to help him because the wheel nut was not going on, and the rear tyre that he just changed had rolled into pit lane, and or into the fast lane, sorry, and that's what caused all that, which sucked too because Team 18 copped it, and it should have been Milwaukee Racing who copped it because they're the one that did the mistake. Now, just because it was Holsworth's car that pitted doesn't mean that it was Holsworth's team. Now, I never, heard a bad pit stop with Will Davison. Obviously, they kind of... It was just not Holsworth's weekend. Like, he did absolutely awesome. Qualifying 5th twice. He was in the shootout. And then during the race, he gets screwed over by the flag marshals and his rivaling pit crew, I guess. So, yeah, he got fined the team got fined $3,000 and 30 points because the Milwaukee crew had Holsworth's rear car go walkabouts in the fast lane. So, yeah, they should really look at that or protest it at least, and maybe get Milwaukee to pay half of it as well because it was their guys that screwed it up. But yeah, it was just It was just a very, very unfortunate weekend for Holsworth. Like I said, he qualified 5th twice, and just during the races, he was the fastest car out in the racetrack in race 30. Not too sure about race 31 though, but he was the second fastest car in race 30. And it was just a shame that he got screwed over by not only the flag marshals but his opposing pit crew as well. But we'll move on again. Still very red hot about it. Again, supporting Lee Holsworth and whatever else, and it's just everything just happened to him, and it was just like, oh god, all right, righto. But lap 76, guys, Simona's car with massive damage on the back of it after getting collected by Tim Blanchard, and he got dumped mechanical black flag, and that was at turn 9. Simona came out at turn 6. They were side by side, a little bit of bumpy, and wasn't too bad. But Simona got past Blanchard, and then they were side by side heading up turn 9, and Blanchard was up on the B pillar of Simona's car and spun her into turn 9, and that's what caused all that damage. And Tim Blanchard got, I think, got a drive-through penalty for that, I'm pretty sure. And Simona obviously got dumped a mechanical black flag as well, which was a bit unreasonable and whatever else, which Tim Blanchard was, it was weird. It was a very, very weird... Oh, sorry, no. Simona's car got black flagged. That's right, yeah. Simona's car got black flagged because of the little bump and run that she did at turn 6. Which I was like, turn 7, sorry. That was a little weird. Like, how does one get turned and obviously be the one that was getting penalised out of it? I didn't really know that. But on lap 78, Coulthard was in the pits again, and he pretty much retired after that. 9 laps to go. McLaughlin had been told that if Reynolds gets past or wants to battle, just let him go, which he did. At 5 laps to go, McLaughlin moved over to give Reynolds the race lead and also give Reynolds the final race win of the year ahead of Scott McLaughlin and Jamie Wickup. So I'm going to boost over to this side now, and guys, race 31 and the final race of the year. David Reynolds wins ahead of Scott McLaughlin, Jamie Wickup, Shane Van Gisbergan, who obviously finished 4th, James Courtney, Andre Heimgardner, who had a really, really good race, Chaz Mostert, Garth Tander, Lee Holsworth, Scott Pye, Craig Lowndes finishing in 11th, and it was his last full-time race. Nick Percat, Mark Winterbottom, Cam Waters, Tim Slade, Anton De Pasquale, Rick Kelly, Jack LeBrock, Michael Caruso, Will Davison, Todd Hazelwood, Tim Blanchard, Simona Di Silvestro, who got screwed over with that black flag, Richie Stanaway, James Golding, and Fabian Coulthard. Guys, in all of that, we have a winner in the Supercars Championship. And it goes to Scotty McLaughlin, who, after the Saturday, didn't really have to worry about winning or whatever. He just had to finish in front of Scott McLaughlin, Shane Van Gisbergan, which he did. And it was very, very, very great racing between them all year. It was a fantastic race all year. The battle that them two had was just absolutely incredible. And I think after all of this, Scotty McLaughlin finished with 3,944 points. Shane Van Gisbergan finishes at 3,873 points. Now, if you're good at maths, you'll know obviously how much that difference and whatever else. Jamie Whincup finishes third for the season. Craig Lowndes, in his last full-time drive career, finishes in fourth. David Reynolds, who had an absolutely awesome year, finishes fifth. Now, I don't know how that happened, actually, because, David finished really, really well during the year and finishes fifth. But yet, at the start of the year, Jamie Whincup was winning races and whatever else, and David Reynolds only won a couple of races all year. Chaz Mostert finishes sixth in the championship. Scott Pye finishes seventh in the championship. Rick Kelly finishes 8th, Fabian Coulthard 9th, Nick Percat 10th, Tim Slade 11th, Mark Winterbottom, who finishes his Tickford career, finishes his last, finishes in 12th position. Garth Tander, who had a very, very odd year, finishes in 13th. James Courtney finishes 14th, Will Davison 15th, Cam Waters in 16th. 17th goes to Andre Heimgardner, Michael Caruso in 18th, Jack LeBrock 19th. Did I say 19th twice? Michael Caruso was 18th and Jack LeBrock was 19th. Anton De Pasquale was 20th. Lee Holsworth finishes 21st in his last drive for Preston Hire. James Golding in 22nd. Simona Di Silvestro 23rd. Tim Blanchard finishes his full-time career in 24th position. Richie Stanaway in 25th. And Todd Hazelwood finishes in 26th. And then obviously it has like Stephen Richards and all the guys that finished in the Pertec Enduro. So that was pretty much it. And yeah, it was a very, very, very fantastic week and fantastic year as well. Which I think will be bettered off next year. Next year is going to be absolutely insane. So we know a couple of news... Sorry, guys. Fingers everywhere. We know a couple of news stories that Mark Winterbottom will be joining Team 18, and they're no longer Preston Hire. They will be turning into Irwin Tools Racing. Preston Hire will be part of the outlet, but not as the main sponsor. We have Richie Stanaway off contract as well, so he hopefully will be re-signing with Tickford, maybe. Lee Holsworth, obviously a free agent. It was told that he might be doing co-drives, but he obviously wants to do a full-time race. And there is a spot at Tickford Racing, and he is obviously leading the field in that at the moment to be re-signed. So hopefully in the next few days we'll hear something, or maybe just before the start of the year we'll hear something that Lee has signed with another car, or with another team, sorry, and we can all be happy. Well, I can be happy anyway. Guys, it'll be the last time you'll see me wearing a Preston Hire shirt. Sadly enough, obviously with everything going on, Preston Hire won't be a major sponsor in the Supercars anymore. So this will be the last time I'll be wearing one of these shirts. Also, guys, the what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the career mode. The career mode will be starting in a couple of weeks' time. On December 2nd, I think. So we'll go 2 weeks from today, because being that not today, but 2 weeks on Friday or whatever. Being that the Supercars are over, I'll sort of stick to the 2 week thing, and we'll go from there and it'll be all good. But yeah, that career mode will start very, very shortly, and I can't wait for that. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna I don't know who I'm going to pick as team driver or whatever. I might start off in like a one car outfit, and then, you know, next season or whatever, I'll move up or whatever else. But that's going to be really fun, and I hope you guys are going to look forward to that as well. That is going to be really, really good, obviously. And also, a couple of changes going to be happening with the videos as well. There's going to be some new stuff. Last videos and a few others, all my results now. I'm praying to God that the results show up this weekend, because I'm sick of having a black screen in front of it and whatever else. So hopefully the results show up. But I'm going to... during the off season, I'm going to get a computer, whatever else, and do my own table of results and whatever else. And that's going to be really, really fun as well. It's going to be very, very busy for me to do. Knowing that Christmas is only 4 weeks away, it's going to be crazy. So we'll see what happens there. But guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you very much for being here for 2018. It was a very, very great year. And with a lot of things also happening for me, you know, moving to Queensland and... obviously going back down for Bathurst and whatever else. It was a crazy, crazy year. And guys, I can't thank you enough for being here. With all the comments, all the likes, all the dislikes, you know, it happens. There was a couple of people who had a little bit of a talking fest on the Bathurst vlog. If you didn't see it, go and check it out, and just check out the comments and whatever else. Yeah, that kind of stuff happens, I know that, but you know, you got to be fair with it as well, and which I was. I'm not going to get all into great detail about it, but go and check out the comment section in the Bathurst vlog, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Guys, thank you very much for being here all year. As always, like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment down on something that you look forward to seeing, or your favourite part of the weekend as well. Comment down on what team I should probably drive for as well in V8 Supercars 3, if you have it, or if you haven't had it for a while, or if you know a couple of teams that are in it. Comment down on the team that you would like to see me drive for, and whatever else. But guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you very much again for being here. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment down on anything, share it around, and guys, I will see you in a couple of weeks for the V8 Supercars 3 career mode. But for this, I'll see you in about 3 months' time. Guys, have a very, very safe Christmas as well. If you're only going to be here for the recaps and whatever else, and not interested in the career mode, thank you for doing that. Have a great Christmas, guys. Have a great New Year, and I shall see you all next year for the, what is it, the Super Loop 500, Adelaide 500. And guys, that's it. Thank you very much. I shall see you all soon.